Welcome back to our channel History Coins HD. As you that old is gold, but these rare $quarter coins that are most valuable than you think, don't spend one of them. You're lucky if you have one of these, so please watch complete video and find your treasure. Let's start this. Top 1 today, we're about to dive into one of the most iconic and mysterious coins in American history, the Bicentennial Washington quarter. This is no ordinary quarter. We're talking about the special edition that proudly displays the dual dates 1776 to 1976. A coin that celebrated America's 200th birthday in a way that still echoes through the hearts of collectors. But what if I told you that one of these quarters, one that might look just like the one in your old coin jar, could actually be worth a jaw-dropping amount of money? Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll find out how to spot one of the rarest versions of this coin and how much it could be worth today. Spoiler alert, it's a six-figure number. Let's rewind to 1976. The United States was celebrating its bicentennial, 200 years since the Declaration of Independence was signed in 1776. Across the country, parades filled the streets, flags flew high, and fireworks lit up the skies. But the celebration didn't stop there. The U.S. Mint got in on the action by releasing specially designed coins to mark this historic milestone. Among them was the Washington quarter with the unique 1776 to 1976 date range. Now, you've probably seen this quarter before. It's different from the regular Washington quarter we see every day. On the obverse, or front, you'll still see the familiar profile of George Washington, but flip it over, and you'll find something truly special, a design that features a colonial drummer boy standing tall, with a torch of victory encircled by 13 stars. This design was created by Jack Lahr, and it's become a symbol of American heritage and pride. But not all of these quarters are created equal, and that's where the story gets really interesting. Most of the 1776 to 1976 Washington quarters were struck in copper nickel clad and were produced in massive quantities. These are the ones you'll typically find in circulation and, for the most part, they're worth just their face value, 25 cents. But some were struck in a special silver composition, and an extremely limited number contain errors, unique characteristics, or were part of rare minting runs that make them highly sought after today. Let's talk about what makes these quarters truly valuable. First up, composition. The U.S. Mint produced a special 40% silver version of the bicentennial quarter, but these were only released in certain collector sets, never in general circulation. So if you happen to find one of these silver quarters in the wild, you're already ahead of the game. You can usually tell it's silver by the lack of the usual copper stripe on the edge of the coin. Instead, you'll see a solid silver edge, which is a great visual cue. Next, we have condition. As with any collectible, condition is king. A bicentennial quarter that has never been touched by human hands, known as a proof or uncirculated coin, can be worth much more than one that's been jostling around in someone's pocket for decades. Coins graded MS67 or higher by professional grading services can already command impressive prices from collectors, but here's where things get even more exciting: error coins. These are the holy grail for numismatists. A misprint here, a double strike there, or a misaligned die can turn an ordinary coin into a one-of-a-kind treasure. And some of these bicentennial quarters have exactly that. We're talking about rare minting errors like off-center strikes, missing mint marks, or even quarters struck on the wrong planchet, which means they were accidentally made using the metal blank for a different coin. Imagine a quarter struck on a nickel planchet, or a $half blank. These oddities are incredibly rare and wildly valuable. And now, let's say you've got a quarter that's silver, uncirculated, and has a mint error. Jackpot! That's the kind of coin collectors dream about. And yes, some of these have sold for incredibly high prices at auction. But how high? Before we get to that final jaw-dropping number, here's what you should do if you think you found a rare one. First, examine the coin carefully. Look for any signs of silver edges, unique markings, or anything out of the ordinary. Second, check for the mint mark. Coins from the San Francisco Mint, marked with an S, are often the 40% silver ones, especially if they came from special proof sets. Third, if it looks promising, get it professionally graded and appraised. Because the true value of a coin lies not only in its rarity, but in its verified condition and authenticity. And now, the moment you've been waiting for, there are verified cases where rare 1776 to 1976 Washington quarters in pristine, uncirculated condition with unique mint errors have been sold to collectors for as much as $100,000. Yes, you heard that right. A single quarter, just 25 cents in face value, could potentially be worth more than the price of a luxury car, or even a down payment on a home out. So, before you toss that old change on the counter or ignore the coins jingling in your drawer, take a moment to look closely. Your next big discovery might be sitting quietly in your pocket, waiting to be recognized. Top 2, because today, we're diving into a modern-day coin that most people overlook, one that could be worth a small fortune. We're talking about the United States 2021 D Washington quarter. That's right, a quarter from just a few years ago, and yet, some of these coins have skyrocketed in value, becoming highly sought-after collector's items. Sounds unbelievable? Well, stick around. Because by the end of this video, you'll find out how a seemingly ordinary coin minted in 2021 with the Denver D Mint mark could actually be worth thousands. And we're not just talking about old, dusty coins from the 1800s anymore. This one might still be floating around in your change right now, but let's start with a little context. In 2021, the U.S. Mint released a series of quarters that marked the final chapter of the America the Beautiful program, and also introduced the new Washington crossing the Delaware design. That's the version we're focusing on today. This quarter features George Washington boldly leading his troops across the Delaware River, an image packed with symbolism, bravery, and patriotic pride. The obverse still showcases the familiar profile of Washington, but with a more refined design and a clean, sharp D Mint mark under "In God We Trust," identifying it as coming from the Denver Mint. Now you might be thinking, 2021? That's way too recent to be valuable. But here's the twist. Value doesn't always come with age. Sometimes, it comes with rarity, condition, or even unexpected errors during the minting process. And the 2021 D quarter has all the ingredients that make collectors pay attention. Let's talk about minting errors, those beautiful accidents that turn regular coins into once-in-a-lifetime discoveries. Some 2021 D quarters have been found with dramatic off-center strikes, double dies, and even retained die breaks. These are not minor scratches or scuffs, but actual production mistakes that occurred at the mint, making the coin unique. A double die, for instance, can make the letters or numbers on the coin appear doubled or blurry. Off-center strikes leave part of the design missing, with blank spaces on the coin. These anomalies aren't supposed to happen, which is exactly why collectors crave them, but error coins aren't the only factor. Condition matters just as much. Coins that are uncirculated, never handled, never spent, and kept in mint condition hold significantly higher value. If a 2021 D quarter is graded by a professional grading service at a high mint state level, like MS67 or MS68, its value increases dramatically. Add a rare error to that, and now you're talking serious money. Even more interesting, the 2021 D quarter is the last issue before the start of the American Women Quarters program in 2022. This makes it historically significant in the timeline of U.S. coinage. It marked the end of one era and the beginning of another. That kind of transitional importance always gives a coin more weight in the collector's market. So, what should you look for if you're searching for a valuable 2021 D Washington quarter? Here's a quick checklist. Look for the Denver Mint mark, a small D on the obverse. To the right of Washington, examine the coin under good lighting or with a magnifier to check for doubling in the text or numbers. Look closely for off-center images, strange lines, cracks, or areas where the design looks broken or missing, signs of minting errors. And finally, check the edge of the coin. It should have a clean, consistent pattern. Anything irregular could signal a minting issue. Now, what if you find one that checks all those boxes? What if you come across a 2021 D quarter that's uncirculated, with a dramatic mint error, and graded at a high level? Here's the part you've been waiting for. There have been verified sales where a rare 2021 D Washington quarter, specifically one with an unusual mint error and in near-perfect condition, sold for as much as $38,000. Yes, you heard that right. A coin you might have in your pocket right now, one that's only worth 25 cents in face value, could actually be worth more than a luxury vacation or a brand new car. The moral of the story? Don't overlook modern coins. Just because it's recent doesn't mean it's worthless. In fact, the coins minted today could become the rare gems of tomorrow. And if you know what to look for, you might just stumble across something incredible. So next time you're at the store and the cashier hands you change, take a second look. Your fortune might already be in your hands. Top 3, we're talking about a coin that's not just recent, it's practically brand new. We're diving into the fascinating world of the 2022 P Washington quarter. Yes, you heard that right, a coin minted in 2022, and it's already turning heads in the collector's world. It's proof that even coins from just a year or two ago can be worth serious money if they've got the right combination of rarity, error, and condition. So don't blink, because you might have one of these valuable coins hiding in plain sight. Let's start with the story behind the coin. In 2022, the United States Mint launched the American Women Quarters Program, a historic initiative that celebrates iconic women in American history by featuring them on the reverse side of the Washington quarter. Each design highlights the life, legacy, or contribution of a powerful female figure. And while the front of the quarter still features George Washington, it's a completely new portrait, a left-facing version sculpted by Laura Garden Fraser, which was actually created in 1931 but finally chosen for circulation in 2022. This redesign alone made headlines. But the real excitement began when collectors started spotting strange and unusual versions of the 2022 P quarters. That's where the story gets exciting. Let's talk about the P Mint mark. This indicates the coin was produced at the Philadelphia Mint, one of the oldest and most historically significant mints in the country. Philadelphia is known for producing coins in large quantities, but every so often, something rare slips through the cracks. In the case of the 2022 P quarter, there have been reports of several types of mint errors, and those are the magic words in the world of coin collecting. Some collectors have found 2022 P quarters with dramatic die breaks, also known as cuds. These are raised blobs or areas where part of the coin's design appears to be missing or distorted due to damage on the die during the minting process. Others have discovered doubled dies, where the text or images appear duplicated or blurry due to a misalignment when the coin was struck, and then there are the off-center strikes, coins that weren't lined up properly in the press, leading to designs that are shifted and incomplete. Some are so off-center that you can see part of the blank metal where the design was supposed to go. These types of errors are rare, unpredictable, and extremely valuable, but even without errors, certain 2022 P quarters are commanding attention just based on condition alone. Coins that are graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC at mint state 67 or higher are incredibly hard to find, especially fresh from circulation. The combination of a flawless finish and a strong strike makes these coins desirable even to casual collectors. It's also important to note that early strikes, coins made right when the dies were new and clean, tend to be sharper, clearer, and more beautiful overall. If you get your hands on one of those in pristine condition, it could be worth far more than you think. So how can you tell if your 2022 P Washington quarter is one of the rare ones? Here are some things to look for. Check the edge. Make sure there's no unusual smoothness or misalignment. Look at the lettering, especially Liberty and In God We Trust. Any doubling or distortion could signal a valuable error. Examine the image of Washington. Are there unusual lines, missing details, or irregularities? That could be a sign of a die crack or damage. Pay attention to the reverse, where the featured woman appears. If anything looks off, blurry, or shifted, don't ignore it, and of course, condition is everything. A coin that's never been circulated, one that looks fresh from the mint, has a much better shot at being valuable. Even a small scratch or dull finish can dramatically drop the value, so if you think you have something special, store it carefully and get it professionally evaluated. Now, let's get to the part you've been waiting for. There's one version of the 2022 P Washington quarter with a rare mint error in imperfect, uncirculated condition that has been valued by collectors and dealers at an astonishing $35,000. Yes, you heard that correctly. A coin minted in 2022, with a face value of just 25 cents, is now worth $35,000 in the right condition, with the right features. It just goes to show, the world of coins isn't just about what's old, it's about what's rare. And sometimes, rarity can be hiding in plain sight. You don't need to dig through ancient collections or visit an auction house. Your next big treasure could be sitting in your change jar right now. So the next time you get a quarter in your hand, especially one from 2022 with that little P mint mark, don't just spend it. Look closely. Examine every detail. Because that ordinary-looking coin might just be your unexpected jackpot. If you enjoyed this journey into the world of modern coin collecting, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss another discovery. We've got more exciting coin stories, collector tips, and valuable finds coming your way very soon. Thanks for watching, and as always, happy hunting, and may your next coin be the one that changes everything.